Just trying to find my way back home. Just trying to find my way back home. Just trying to find my way back home. Just trying to find my way back home.
On South George Street, we find a former convent. It was built in 1950 by the Transfiguration of Our Lord Church as a home for the Felician Sisters. Today, it is a bed and breakfast and home to Mary Davis and her collection of mementos from her world travels.
I'm a North Carolinian by birth, transplanted to lots of places, and one of them was Syracuse. And that's how I know Rome. That's how I knew Rome. So it wasn't a new place for me. But it turned out that we didn't find anything when I was here looking, so my friends kept looking along with a realtor and found this place several months later and sent me a 3-page email, and here I am. This is my retirement career. I knew in the mid-'80s what I wanted to do when I grew up and retired, and it was to open a B&B. Well, I got to travel practically half of Europe and then some, because I worked for the Department of Defense Dependent Schools, which is schools for military children on bases overseas.
So it took you all over the world.
So I was in lots of different places for work and also for vacation. You're already there, so it's easier to travel on your vacation time off.
Yeah. And so you brought a little bit of that here?
I brought a lot of that here. From Turkey, from Spain, from Germany, from Greece, from the Philippines, from Bangkok, from Italy, of course. Lots of places.
So how do Mary's out-of-town guests feel about staying in a former convent?
They love it. They absolutely love it. People have come here who have sleep apnea, serious sleep problems, and they have no problem sleeping here. They say they don't know when they've slept so well. And of course, I'm a very good cook, so they love the food.
When I was growing up in Utica, I was taught for 13 years by the nuns. Now, to me, the nuns always had a certain mystique about them, and their convent as well had a certain mystique. Being here in this bed and breakfast, I can still sense a feeling that it was at one time a convent. On my way to the dining room, Mary took us down the hallway over there, and in that hallway there are furniture pieces that come from 6 different countries: Greece, Turkey, Ethiopia, Spain, England, and Germany. It's worth coming to this bed and breakfast just to walk down that hallway. Fortunately, for historical reasons, when Mary transformed this convent into a bed and breakfast, she kept this chapel totally intact.
Somehow he would find his way back to her for the last time.
This past Wednesday was Ash Wednesday. When I was growing up in Cornhill again, that meant a couple of things. Number one, it meant the beginning of giving up candy for something like 6.5 weeks. It also meant having fish fries, and back then we used to get our fish fries at either Walt's on the corner in Cornhill or at Jean's. In Rome, if you want one of those old-fashioned fish fries, you come to Stan's. I came here today, and I am now a stand man.
When in Rome, we take the advice of Romans and head to the Forget-Me-Not Cafe on North James Street. You can't miss the neat little restaurant trimmed in green and forget-me-not blue.
The forget-me-not came from the flowers in my garden. I saw the flowers and I said, I'm going to name my restaurant the Forget-Me-Not so people do not forget us. I think people come back here because we have something very unique. We serve everything from scratch. Everything is homemade. My soups, my desserts, my entrees. And people come back and they say that it's like home cooking. I do this because I enjoy cooking. My sister has a restaurant up in West Leiden. My mother was a cook. I was under her footing as a little girl. She cooked and did pastries out of her home when we lived out of the state of New York.
It's in your blood.
It's in my blood. I just enjoy cooking and I enjoy making people happy, and I like to have people come in and have it their way.
When I came in here today, I thought the place was brand new because it looked like fresh paint, new carpeting. Everything about the place was sparkling clean. But then I found out that it's been here for 3 years. So it's been here for a while. Make it a point to come out here yourself and try the fish, because it is fresh fish from down the street. Stan's. And don't forget the name of the place. It is, what is it? Forget-me-not, the Forget-me-not. Come out here.
Located in the Griffiths Business and Technology Park in a hangar overlooking the airfield is Mohawk Valley Community College's Airframe and Power Plant Technology class. It is the country's only 12-month program certified by the FAA. Here, students work 8 hours a day to become trained and certified aircraft and power plant technicians.
Right now our students are going through the reciprocating engine technologies portion of our power plant section that's taught here at MVCC. They're doing overhaul and inspection and component ID and troubleshooting with reciprocating engines. What they'll do is they'll be lectured for several hours a day. Then we'll come to a lab portion where they'll tear apart the engines in segments, and they'll ID these segments, these components, their manufacturing, their theory of operation. They'll troubleshoot them and test them, and then they'll end up at the end putting the engine back together and test running it. Actually, the job is wider than just an aircraft mechanic. Elevator companies, HVAC companies, industrial companies, contract companies hire these mechanics. Even auto mechanics shops hire these mechanics because the training is so in-depth with the engine portion and the sheet metal portion and the systems portions that it's not just aircraft that they can go work on. They can go work on a variety of things, and we actually have A&Ps working on the space shuttle right now. As, teaching aviation in a classroom versus a hangar, a classroom is college, so to speak, but when you bring them into the hangar environment, it gives them a sense of being in aviation and versus just being in the classroom for 8 hours a day.
Traveling round